Today I've come to Barleyland's leather shop, which is run by my good friend Ray, and I've asked him to make a couple of sheaves for these little doohickeys that I made.
Oh, here's a 50 quid I owe ya.
And we've got the squidlet, as I showed people making it, and the marks on the back there. And this is the one that I forgot about and left in the back of my drawer for 18 months. But they're both basically strikers for ferrocene rod. This one has got an edge on it, and it's from the. I made a knife called a squid, and this is like a very small scaled down version. That I must admit I got the idea from Sandy of Jack Galore Knives. He made the bigger one, and I thought I'd like that. And also Funky Prepper had a similar thing to this around his neck, and I'm afraid I didn't get the man who made it, but I thought what a good idea, sort of combine the two. And I'm here today to get some sheaves made for it, so you can hang them around your neck. And this is the template for one of them, which I believe is for this one and the ferro rod. And this one, this little doohickey here, which has just been handed to me, is for the squidlet. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of guerrilla filming here if the man is ready, and he's marked out.
I've marked one out, that's one. I've just got to cut a piece of leather so I can do that one. So if you want to carry on filming, I'll just dig a piece out. I'm sure I've got something here I can use. Let me see. I've got so much rubbish under here, guys. You know, it's mind-boggling. I'm going to have to take it off of here. We're going to use a bit of this leather here. Okay, we're going to use a bit of this leather here. This is lovely stuff to work with. Makes great sheaths and bags and cases. So I'm just going to nick a little piece off of here. And if you're wondering what this is, I'm giving up smoking. Well, I'm attempting to give up smoking.
Best way to do that, Ray, never start. Best way to do that is never start.
You're dead right, I wish I had never started. So this is what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to chop off a little piece here.
I want to come in a bit closer to this.
Yeah, you want to get in a bit low?
Yeah,
I'm just going to chop in a little bit here, like that, so that, yeah, that'll do. That'll do. So, right, that'll do me. I'm going to go on there, whack this away. Yeah, I'll put that on there for the time being, that'll do. Right, I'm going to mark this out. Okay, we'll go on the back end here. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Mark that round really quickly there. Alright, now we're going to cut this one here. Alright, we're going to cut this out. This is always fun to do. Be careful though when if you're starting at this game and you getting into leather work. Be always very careful when you're using one of these things. All right, watch your fingers because it hurts. All right, trust me. And you know, and I've You know, I've taken the tips off my fingers off a few times because I was being careless. Do not be careless. And besides, you mess that leather up with all the blood. All the claret will just mess it all up, won't it? So just follow your lines nice and carefully. Here we go. Turn your work. Right. Alright, so you get a nice even cut there. So that's it. That's that. Okay, so we've got those bits. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mark the, I'm going to score, put a stitch groove here, as it helps to protect the stitch. It countersinks the stitch, the thread, so you don't get too much wear on it, because that's going to be sewn. Normally I would hand sew this, but for the sake of speed, I'm going to stitch it on the machine.
Because he's got one.
Because I've got one. And I don't often use it, actually. I much prefer to hand sew a lot of the stuff, but I know I just have a I just have it there, and occasionally I do pull it out the machine, that is.
This is a family show.
Yeah. This is what I'm doing here. I'm burnishing the edges. I'm just going to put this. I tend to use water and a plain old piece of soap, and it gives you a nice edge to it. And then I can find a piece of cloth, bit of canvas, bit of material, nothing special, and then just go around it like that. Okay. And then you get what would be normally look like that, which is a rough edge, bit of soap and water, you get that. Shiny. All right, so we've done that bit. Now I'm going to chop. Oh no, what I haven't done is I've just got to chop. I've just got to punch out a couple of holes, and this is for the eyelets. Right across the knuckle.
That's got to stay in.
Bloopers. Again, what is wrong with me today? No, anyway, now here, your eyelets, got your anvil, usual stuff. I mean, like, you know, sort of there, whack it in there. Put your eyelet in.
They're a stainless steel eyelet, aren't they?
They are stainless steel ones, yeah, these are steel ones. You can get copper ones, you can get brass ones.
Can't beat a good bit of stainless steel.
No, bit of stainless steel. So there you go. Here it is, yep. You got your anvil. Chop, bomb, that's in there. That's sorted out. So there, that's what's going to, the leather cord will go through there, or paracord, whichever you want to use.
Yep, and I'm just showing the people, that is perfect. No splitting, no frilling, no nothing. Just absolutely spot on.
It's spot on, yeah. I do try and achieve that, try and get it as neat as I can possibly can. Otherwise, there's no point in doing it. If you're not going to do it right, there ain't no point in doing it, is there?
No.
Really, quite honestly. And now that's all marked up, ready to roll. Now, in a minute, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to chop that tip off there, and then get some. Where's the glue brush? Oh. Yeah.
You're as bad as me.
I know. It also helps not to be absent-minded, because I do put things down and totally forget where I put them. In fact, the other day I was looking for this brush and I'm searching on, you know where it was? In my hand. How bad is that?
I'd like to be able to say I've never done that, but
no,
I can't.
I'm going ballistic trying to find this brush, and it's in my hand. I'm going, where's that brush? Where's that brush? I'm holding it like that. And then someone popped me and says, by the way, the brush you're looking for is in your hand. Ask me if I felt stupid. Yeah. Yes, I did. Alright, so this one, bit of contact adhesive. I tend to when I'm using contact adhesive, I do thin it down because you get better spread with it as well. And I normally thin it down, and then when I'm gluing up, I put I put the first coat of glue dry, and then I'll do another coat, and then let that dry, and then when I put them together, sticks like to a blanket, if you know.
Yeah, the proverbial.
Yeah, the proverbial blanket. Yeah, and so this is what I do here. This is what I'm doing here. So, and now, while that's drying, I'll put that to one side, and now I'll cut this one out. Okay, here we go. We're going to chop this one out now.
This is the little pouch for the squidlet.
Yeah, this is the squidlet pouch.
I love this. I love the little holster effect.
It's got to be in it. You've got to do that.
Yeah.
You've got to do that.
Yeah.
Nice cut, one sweep. Normally, when you're cutting curves, it's always, until you're used to it, I still do the same, but I'm not used to it, is cutting straight lines along the curve to eventually create your curve.
Yep.
All right? And you get a much neater finish in that, because if you're not very proficient with a knife and you try and do it like that, follow the line round,
you pull it into yourself.
Jagged edges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, but even I still do it. I still use that system. You going round and just nibbling away at the edges, to create that curve.
But when you're doing it every day, it gets easy.
Oh yeah, it's like everything. The more you do it, easier it becomes. Like everything, said the actress to the bishop. Anyway. So now,
I'm going to have to censor this. I'm going to see it.
No, you don't have to censor it. Nothing's said. I ain't said anything yet, have I?
I'm waiting.
No. It's all right. Yeah, don't worry. You'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you caught me on a good day. Anyway, so here again with the soap. Great stuff, soap. Years ago, I used to use, I don't know, you may not remember, a washing up product called Lux. They used to use it for woolens, flakes.
Yeah.
And I've still got a jar back there with the original Lux flakes in, all made up. And it's great for putting on edges of leather, because when you rub it on, I use my fingers and I spread it on with my fingers. All right? And then I finish it off with a cloth, with a piece of canvas. And it gives you a great edge. You let it dry. Then once it's dry, go over it with the edge coat, and it stays. It's permanent because it hardens. Once it's dried, it hardens, and it's. But they don't make the Lux anymore.
I think you'd have to go to the Natural History Museum to get some of that, wouldn't you?
I think so. Yeah. So really, what I've got in that jar, I suppose you could class as an antique.
Artifact, I think.
Yeah. And you can't get it anymore. It's a shame, because it was such good stuff to work with. Say, especially when you're doing. Yeah,
if it don't come in a spray bottle now, Ray. If it don't come in a spray bottle, nobody wants it.
Yeah, I know, and I still find it the best. And this is something that my father, who used to do leather work, showed me about using soap, because in his day he didn't have the stuff when he was doing stuff. His was fairly simple, like belts. Gun belts used to make for us kids, used to make our toys for us and what have you. He taught me the basics of leather work, i.e. stitching, hand stitching, because he didn't have a machine. Couldn't afford it, basically, couldn't afford it. And so hand stitching leather, edging, burnishing and all that sort of stuff, the finishing touches that are required to make it look something special. Because at the end of the day, he's saying to me, no matter what it is you make, if the finish is right, That's it, it's everything. The finish is everything. You could make the best piece of leather, but if the finishing, the edges and everything are crap and rough, what you got? Some leather just sewn together and thrown together. It's the finishing touch. That's what it's like. And if I got it wrong, I'd have to start all over again. He was a bit of a taskmaster, but it served me well. I'll give him that. It served me well. So now, there you go. We've got the edge. That's been done. See that? So you've got the two edges.
Yeah, it's looking really good, Ray.
Now, what we're going to do here is again, I'm going to punch a couple of holes. Here it is. And you know, I mean, like, I should really be using this. It's only because I'm too lazy to reach across and do it and get it. Right. So this, we're going to put the hole 1, hole 2, and again. Our rivets, sorry, our eyelets, I should say.
I'm going to come down onto your hands and...
Okay then. Yes. So we're going to go put one in there. One in there. Anvil. Gee, this anvil thing is so tiny, it's really quite frustrating. That one there. Is that it? No, that's not in. Yes, it is. Alright, so again, that's what it should end up looking like.
Yep.
Okay, so find a little touch with the edge here. Right, now mark that up. Glue that, I'll just put a little mark there so I'll glue up to that point. Usual glue. Yeah.
What is that glue, right?
It's like an Evo stick. It's an industrial strength though, that I get normally used for the shoe trade. But it, you know, once it adheres, there's no way you're going to pull it apart. You really don't. I mean,
it's good enough to walk on. It's good enough for that.
Well, that's it. You know, I mean, and I use it for everything. I use it for all. My God, now we're going to join this one together because the glue's all nice and.
So it's a contact adhesive, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Right, now what I normally do, I've got my little magic hammer. All right.
That's contact, all right.
Yeah, that's contacted. Okay, and now we're going to stitch it. So if you'd like to follow me, actually, what we'll do, we might as well do them both together here, because that's.
Because you can smell that stuff. It's really.
Can you?
It's really good.
I've had nights where I've actually floated out of here. Look.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Right, so that's
off in La La
bonded.
Land.
La La Land. Oh, not kid you not. Anyway, over here to the machine, to my temperamental machine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
as I said before, we are using this machine. I know you haven't got a machine in there, but you can do everything that you've seen Ray do quite easily. Apart from this, you'd have to hand sew it, but because he's got it, he's going to use it.
actually, if it's all right with you, I would like to at some point soon is give you a demonstration on how to hand sew. I've seen lots of times on various internet,
YouTube,
yes, YouTube, where they're teaching, saying you to stitch. No, there's a knack to stitching. It's not just a case of going in and out, in and out. To get a secure stitch, you need to knot each single stitch that you do. Yeah. It's not just in and out, because if you don't do that, if the thread wears and it starts to come undone, then all the stitches will come undone. If you knot each individual thread, all right, and use 2 needles, all right, together, and you sew, always keeping the awl at the same angle all the time. Once you start, you keep at that angle. You don't change. And
I'd like to say, just coming in there, we know there are people on YouTube that do it like that.
Yeah.
But this is for the people that don't do it like that.
No, that's right. Yeah. And it is, because stitching is most important. It's got to look good. And if you don't do it the correct way, it'll look rubbish.
Unless, of course, you got a big lump of iron like that.
Yeah, I mean, this little lump of iron here, right? She's a temperamental little baby, and why is it? Oh, I've got it in reverse. That's why. She's a temperamental little girl. All right, little bit like my ex-wife. And
you said she was homicidal, not temperamental. You said she was homicidal, not temperamental.
Well, she's homicidal and temperamental. Depends what day of the week it is. All right. Depends what day of the week. Now I've got to do this. This machine is playing up, unfortunately. Let me just sort this out a sec. I'll just undo this just for a minute. There. 1 stitch back.
I'm going to come in.
Then stitch forward again. Remember to change gear. So now we're on a roll here because I've sussed it out. Fire it up. Wind your fingers. Because I have had an occasion where I was stitching at one time. This was in my other workshop at my house, and my son burst into the room, into the studio, screaming his head off because I think a bumblebee was following him or chasing him, and because I was so busy looking at him, I stitched my fingers together. God, did that hurt. And obscenities were flying about all over the place.
I bet they were.
Yeah, oh, big time. Right, so that bit's done. Okay, so... oh, look. A nice neat stitch there, Keith, look.
Yep, didn't bite you.
No, it didn't bite me. What a turn up for the book, that's a first. Right, I just need some scissors, and I always seem to forget to take my scissors with me. You stay there, keep the camera rolling, I'm going to tap dance across the floor. Right, so, that's number 1. We'll trim that off in a minute, so that's it.
Okay.
We'll trim that in a minute. Where did I put the other one?
It's over there.
Oh, right, of course it is. It's only testing. Just testing. Testing. I tell you what I do need. What I haven't done is I haven't scored this. So just let me show you. This is it. This is a professional standard stitch groover. Great piece of kit. All right, invaluable. And always you get a nice neat stitch with it. And here we go. All right. Right. So you get that. Follow your line. Bob's your uncle. So they say, not that I've got an uncle called Bob. Right. So here we go. I normally go stitch forward. Drop that. So that's in. Whack that into reverse. So we go back 1. Right. Bring it forward again. Because this is an old machine. This is a very temperamental machine. Right. We're on the roll. And then we kick off.
This machine about 1940s?
Yeah. Oh yes, the 40s, mate. Good guess. Oh yeah.
I can see by the writing and lithography on the top of it.
Yeah.
It's pretty old.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's an old machine, and this is a 45K 89 cylinder arm walking foot machine.
Yeah, I'm sure we all got that.
Yeah, well then that's the model. That's the model. What are you talking about? This is the model of the machine. That's what and it's got. I don't know that because it's actually written on the side here.
I was going to say Adam.
Yeah, I thought he's being clever now. No, I'm not really because it's all written here. No, this is a very old machine. It's obviously.
I thought you'd been to school for a minute.
Yeah, no, I haven't been to school for years, mate. But this machine is a good old beast. Temperamental because she's old.
Yeah.
You know when she's running really well, she runs really well. At the moment, I'm waiting for a new foot. I need a new foot for it. I'm waiting for that to arrive. And it should get serviced every year. If you're wondering what this is, that's a reservoir for liquid wax that goes in there to lubricate the thread. You can see inside there.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And it lubricates the thread, so it helps when the stitch to tighten up, and you get great little thing.
Does that come as a separate item? Or
No, it's a separate item. I found that in a separately. God, I can't even remember where I got that from. But
it's a good little doohickey, though, isn't it?
yeah. I mean, it's ideal because it does lubricate. Normally, I have it full. I've got to. But it's unfortunate they don't make the liquid wax anymore that they used. So I've had a gallon of it for over 20 years. I've had this gallon of wax, and so it lasts a long time. It does last a long time, and it's great stuff to use because it does help. You know, if that was a dry stitch on this old machine, it wouldn't come out as neat as that.
No. I'm going to zoom in on that because that is gorgeous.
Right. But a wet bit, and if it had been if it was dry, the stitches would not look as good. And because it's lubricated, it helps so you get that extra little tightness, little tweak on the thread. It works, you know, sort of like I set it up and do, you know, it just looks good.
As I've said to people in the past, I used to work with leather, but I'm a Raynoser. What the reason why I can't do it anymore? I can't keep my hands still.
No. But you know now. Because I don't have the space here in this workshop to so we haven't got the clapperboard, you know.
No.
But anyway, that's it. I've just done the edge on that.
Yep.
All right.
There used to be big gaps in my movies. Anything with my name on it's got big gaps in it.
Yeah.
Oh, let's have a look at this. Oh, look at that. Does that not make that look?
All right. So that's that.
Absolutely.
Now we've got this little yellow one to finish off. Now that one's there, that's done.
Yep.
Now we just trim off the thread on this one, and get that one there. Okay, now get me a trusty little sanding board, because unfortunately I don't have the space here in the workshop to set up a
belt sander.
Yeah, a belt sander and stuff. I just don't have the space because I share with a friend of mine.
And you wouldn't want the dust everywhere either,
no,
would you?
Exactly.
Not when she's an artist. The other side.
She's an artist. She's a wonderful artist. I'll tell you her name. Check out her name is Hazel Williams. She does children's illustrations. Wonderful lady. Wonderful artist. Check her out. I should be a TV presenter. Really, shouldn't I? I'd be good at this. So now just giving the edge a little touch up here, just to.
About that TV presenting, I think you're going to need a better cameraman.
So here we go. That's that. Bit of this. Bit of the magic soap. You know, a lot of the books that I've still got when I started to do things like leather tooling and carving and things like that I got into later year, you know, for show books. And when they come to this edging, you know, and burnishing the edges, all this, some water, put some water on the edge, bit of canvas, rub it up, but it worked, but it's not as good as when you actually just, it helps to lubricate. If you put that soap on and give it a good coating, wherever there's any little imperfections in the edge, you know, my little thing, the soap covers it in, it just builds it up and just keep going, and eventually, and then when you start rubbing it all up, it's like with the cloth, it polishes it so you get a nice even surface.
It's like bulling your boots, isn't it?
Just like doing it, yeah, and you know about that, and I know about that because I used to do that for my dad. I used to bull his boots for him, you know. And this is what you do, you know. The soap helps to, it packs.
Yeah.
It packs any little gaps, little hairline, you know, little gaps that might be there, and you just.
Yeah, it is a wonderful edge. I'm going to come in close to that because you can actually see this. It's really a good little tip.
Right. You don't do what I do. I spit on it. Don't, because it tastes foul.
That is really like bulling your boots.
Yeah, like polish. But amount of times I've done that, gone like that, and put my foot in that, and then got put polish in my mouth.
Oh, good. No good.
Right, so there you go.
Oh, look at that. Well, Ray, thanks for that, because that is that is brilliant, and I think the people are going to appreciate what goes into these. This was one of the little things that we decided to do, because it's something that everybody can do with you know, if you've got a haul and some thread, you can do it.
Oh yeah.
But and some leather, obviously. But this
it normally helps to have the leather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as you see.
So that is right.
I'm going to give him the things to put into it just to show you.
So that one, we'll go put that in. Just drop that in the side there, and this one on there next to it. All right, and then
push it down because it's a little bit tight at the moment.
Yeah,
but it will
it's a little bit tight, but it will loosen up. All right, and it does loosen up, and like so. It's just because the glue is just the edges are still glued up, but that will loosen up. There you go.
Lovely. Look at that. And it's nice and tight in there. They're not going to slop all over the place.
Fits nice and tight, as a German fella.
Fits nice and tight. Yeah. I'll give you that one.
I love working with you, Kev. You've got a great sense of humour. You have to put up with me. Anyway, look, there you go.
Lovely.
Right, that's one.
And there's the other.
There.
So there's the striking steel, the arrowhead striking steel, and the squidlet. All done and dusted. Beautiful. Thanks for watching. See you later.